Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And I guess let us dive right into, the first section of the video, which is a good question. What is your all-time favorite cryptocurrency? Or rather, if you're at your Christmas dinner right now, by the way, Merry Christmas to everybody, and your relative asks you, what crypto should I buy? Just comment down below what you would tell them. Just for fun's sake. I think it's always interesting to see the different suggestions that people give, and also which crypto you would go for if you could only pick one. Now, I've said it before, this is where the story starts, but if you take a look at the top 10 most Googled cryptos worldwide, one thing becomes quite apparent, and I noticed this from reading you guys' comments quite often. Whenever I look through my comments, a lot of the US people from the US, they always say their favorite is XRP, and from a lot of other countries, they say different ones. However, if you then take a look at the top 10 most Googled cryptos worldwide, it's kind of interesting how in the US, XRP is 8th, but then if you take the global monthly searches into it, you can actually see the rankings change a significant bit, as Avalanche and Litecoin, which are, I guess, a lot more popular over in the US, would actually be overtaken by XRP and Cardano for that matter. But it's quite peculiar, and I sometimes think, what exactly would this look like if this lawsuit were to be over? And again, remember, it could be over within the next 3 months or so, which is really mesmerizing sometimes. Now, talking about lawsuits, talking about crazy stuff in that nature, this was one of the most crazy pieces we have seen of the entire year, I think. We've covered Gary Gensler and all this shenanigans of conflict of interest many times, right? Now, what if I were to tell you that even in the Sam Bankman-Fried case, there's again another conflict of interest shown, and it gets double as funny if you read the comments. But so Justin, the US judge assigned to the SBF case, has actually stepped down due to her husband's law firm previously advising FTX. So one of the things that I find interesting is that it kind of seems as if a lot of this was set up from the get-go, and that potentially, for example, Sam Bankman-Fried's parents were able to get this judge in there, even though I don't think it works that way, but whatever, was able to get that judge in there. But unfortunately, they found out that the judge had connections, as it is such a high-profile case. Now, again, that's where things would have kind of ended. District Judge Ronnie Abrams withdrew her participation from legal proceedings around Sam Bankman-Fried amid a potential conflict of interest. Her husband, Greg Andres, is a partner at Davis Polk & Wardwell, an FTX advisor in 2021. It's kind of double-sided because additionally, the law firm has represented parties that may be opposed to FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried as well. Quote, "My husband has had no involvement in any of these representations," end quote. Abrams wrote in a filing on Friday. Nonetheless, to avoid any possible conflict or the appearance of one, the court hereby recuses itself from this action. And that was also interesting to me to read. It was funny. But again, it wouldn't be a third, a fourth, a thousandth as funny as to, I guess, what kind of came after. All right, so one of the guys made a joke with a Nancy Pelosi stock tracker account. And the first time I saw this, I was giggling on the floor for a very good while. Because as you guys know, Nancy Pelosi, very well known to potentially have some conflict of interest issues. So then making this account, getting it verified, paying for that, I guess. I'm not sure if it's old or a legacy or a new one. No, Twitter Blue, so they're paying to get this account out there, and then, I don't know, I found it really funny. But, again, to not stray away from the point too much, like Bonafide here says, once again, the SEC, the politicians, and these judges are not looking out for the protectors of investors or protections of investors, rigged favoring the wealthy and whoever has given the most to their political campaign. Again, I cannot say that's always the truth, but in a lot of cases, like here, for example, with Sam Bankman-Fried getting that bail, things are just very odd, and that's the best way we can put it. It's just odd. Couple other things that happened. Donald Trump's trading cards, you remember those NFTs, have lost this much value in 1 week. Apparently, over the past week, their value has fallen by 72%. According to the site, each card is now worth 0.23 Ethereum or $280. So if you bought one for 99 bucks, you'd still be in a ton of profit. But at the beginning of this week, the coin or the pictures were going pretty damn wild. And it's interesting to see this rise and fall. I believe Trump or some of the guys from Trump have said this is all just about the art, not about the money, but it's peculiar. Something regarding Shiba Inu news. Binance to add $76 million worth of Shiba Inu. Is a pump near? People are going crazy about this. It all has to do with Voyager's assets. CoinGate reported Binance US made a bid to take over Voyager Digital Assets. The press release mentioned the deal is worth around $1 billion. However, this huge announcement came amid growing criticism over its reserves. Voyager stated that Binance US offered the highest and the best bid on its assets, and this deal also carries an additional consideration of up to $20 million worth of incremental value. And Nansen reported that in the bid to acquire Voyager assets, Binance will add $76 million worth of Shiba Inu to its other assets, and it will also be adding $255 million of Ethereum and $62 million worth of VBX tokens. I've never heard of this before in my life. And maybe for that reason, the Shiba Inu burn rate is a lot higher. Again, let me add here, I think if the bull market comes back, Shiba Inu will do really well because of their metaverse, because of their game. Has a lot of potential over the longer term. On the short term, Shiba Inu is one of those cryptos that I don't really buy every single day, but I'm not selling due to the longevity that, well, they basically built for themselves. If you asked me this about a year and a half ago, I would have said no, Shiba Inu will not hold up in a bear market. Shiba Inu is one of those 99% of coins that will fade out into oblivion, but the way in which they've pivoted is so smart, and they're continuing to basically set records for themselves and stay up there in the light. Now, one of those coins that doesn't really do it is Litecoin. Even though it's in the spotlight pretty often, I mean, it's not really doing too much good. However, I tried to show the screen, but I accidentally didn't. I wanted to show you. Hopefully, I did show the Shiba Inu piece. What I wanted to show is, again, Litecoin, and then get back to the spotlight here, and then back to Litecoin. Jim Cramer says people who own Litecoin are idiots. CNBC's Superstar host said that he wouldn't touch cryptocurrencies in a million years. Earlier today, CNBC host Jim Cramer spoke out against crypto, calling them the creation of money by cretins, and telling Litecoin holders that they are idiots. Quote, I think that everyone who owns these various coins, Litecoin, I do think you're an idiot. I do think go to college to get stupid. Sorry, I did not go to college to get stupid. These people who own these things should not own them, end quote, he said. Cramer also said he would never invest in crypto himself due to his concern about the lack of regulation and trusting a deposit bank. And he recounted a personal incident trying to get his money back from a crypto firm, a process that had characterized as first trading. And he apparently urges the SEC to crack down on the crypto sector to end the creation of money by cretins that is currently happening unchecked in this industry. I think they need to do a big sweep. They have to stop having people create money. It's the creation of money by cretins. These are even worse than Nasdaq stocks, Cramer stressed. Finally, the host expressed a preference for traditional banks like JP Morgan Chase Bank. Here we go. I like to have my money at JP Morgan, and I check on Monday to see whether my balance is there. It feels good, he said. And again, he also said that cryptos like XRP, Cardano, and Dogecoin might end up collapsing to zero. Partially is right, they might, just as your JP Morgan might not be here tomorrow, it might. But here's the thing, in reality, the highest probability is for things to continue on this positive nature. And we've seen before in the past that if Jim Cramer tells you to not do something, well, you might want to do it. And if Jim Cramer tells you to do something, you might not want to, because he's just been wrong ridiculously many times, especially when it comes to these investment tips. I don't really trust him. I don't take his word for it. I think it's very important you do your own due diligence. Now, I would agree that I don't think Litecoin is amazing, but can you call the people idiots? I think that's too harsh, and I think this is a very valid point here. There is a market for Litecoin, and it doesn't necessarily have to go into oblivion, but since he said that it will go, that people are idiots who are buying that, I might have to buy I might have to sell another car and buy fully Litecoin, just go completely crazy on it now. But in all seriousness, he's also against XRP, Cardano, and whatnot. I mean, this guy is really on a warpath to just make everybody angry. I don't know what his point is. First, he's so excited about crypto. He's so excited about Coinbase stock. Then things go bad and he's saying, oh, it's the worst in the world. Hypocrite. I just keep on buying my cryptos that I think will do really well over longer periods of time. And I think we're going to look back at these videos 5 years from now and just really, really laugh at how crazy our portfolios will have risen. It's a game of the longest breath, I guess, of longevity. And a lot of my relatives, they don't believe in it as much. They keep saying, do you think this crypto thing of yours will really work? And I'm never there to convince people. I always tell, hey, just look it up for yourself. I'm staying with it. If you want to, you do whatever you please. It's been years since I tried to convince some of my relatives to really get into it, because what ended up happening was, yeah, are you really sure that's gonna happen? I'd be like, well, I'm not sure. I guess so. You know, there's a high probability. He's like, but are you sure I'm not gonna lose money? I'm like, wait. So what ended up happening is I gave everybody crypto, but that's a little while ago. Alas, we are here today again at Christmas fun time to talk back, sit back, I guess, with family again and talk about crypto. It's going to happen yet again and yet again and yet again. It's going to be awkward for a lot of NFT people, huh? To see your NFTs, your PFPs down so much. Hey, there's that little kid that's holding those profile pictures, right? Hey, how you doing? How are those profile pictures of you doing? Yeah, that would be kind of an awkward conversation. And potentially now also you're going to have to open up back to the wife, huh? Or the husband for that matter, that your crypto portfolio is not doing so well. But I think in a couple years we're going to look back at this and just rejoice over how good times were and how cheap we were able to get into all these things. Again, I sometimes reminisce about my videos from 2017, 2016 even, with Bitcoin at, I don't even know, like $2,000, maybe even less. Cardano at 2 cents. Some of these cryptos were not even born at that time, which is also funny. I remember getting the Bitcoin Cash airdrop. I sometimes reminisce about the videos where I tell people, hey, you're gonna get yourself double your Bitcoin basically, and Bitcoin SV. There was also Bitcoin Gold. So much fun stuff. And I remember having to watch out for all those fake airdrops. Times were so funny. Times were so funny. And time flies. But yeah, just want to quickly thank you all for just staying with the channel all this time. You guys are amazing. And that was it for today's quick update. Not that much going on, but still important stuff nonetheless. We had one article here about the economic frailty could soon give Bitcoin a new role in global trade. Aggressive interest rate hikes have wrought havoc to the global markets. As a consequence, more countries may embrace Bitcoin in the year ahead. However, I'm not so sure that I fully agree with this article, so I left it out. Again, I didn't show you. Again, the interest rate is indeed increasing, and it will do so for a little while, and times are changing a lot. But I'm honestly not so sure yet about the best recession strategy. I mean, you should hold cash. But I guess crypto has a very good value proposition as well. But I'm not so sure if it's going to change its role in global trade, and if we should see Bitcoin as a currency, and all these cryptos for that matter, as a currency or an asset class on its own, or more like a just traditional commodity or whatnot. Yeah, something I'm not too fully sure about, which is why I skipped out on it for today. But yeah, that was it. See you guys later in another episode, most likely tomorrow. So stay tuned and see you guys tomorrow.